During the second round of the national trials, which includes the bench, Brandon started to greatly outflank both Peyton and Alec, wherein Brandon opened with a bench of 195 kilograms.
And he's going to need to hit PRs if he's going to catch up and surpass Jonathan Keiko's 893. Let's see where he ends up on the bench press. He's got to cover this ground somewhere. He's got room to grow. That left arm is slightly cocked.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a closer grip bencher.
Which provided an incredible 20% lead advantage over Peyton's opening bench of 162.5 kilograms.
Nice, easy work of that. Peyton's on the board.
And a 14.71% leading margin over Alex's opening bench of 170 kilograms.
374 for Alex. Alec had quite the show in the squat session. Finished off a 320, but loaded up that national record. Relatively new to the sport of powerlifting, but already marking himself as somebody to watch for the future.
This fight's really a good blend of newcomers to the sport that you can tell they're making a lot of progress based off of their attempts, and veterans.
Yeah, we even have a master world champion.
Right, exactly.
From juniors entering the open to master world champions and everybody in between in this session.
Great speed on that opener.
It's worth noting that a 195 kilograms bench is the second highest opening for Brandon, who had previously opened with 195 kilograms at the 2021 USAPL Virginia Pro Meet, where he ended up with a personal record bench press of 215 kilograms. As the battle unfolds even further, both Peyton and Alec failed to catch up to Brandon. Peyton for a second bench attempt of 167.5 kilograms.
Smooth second attempt.
Good second, and his PR is 170, so I would expect that he's gonna go over that for his third attempt.
I think so.
Which is lower than his projected baseline of 172.9 kilograms. Alec, who in the first round of the national trials unswervingly commanded a lead advantage of 1.56% over Brandon, was also fruitless in diminishing Brandon's lead.
And we stay in the 93 kilo class. These spotters and loaders doing a great job. We're moving pretty quick. They've done some big catches already. And they got the best seats in the house to enjoy the show. And I got news, they're gonna be working very hard when you got squatters like Ray Williams coming up tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Ray, capable of a 1,000-pound squat.
Wherein Brandon for a second attempt bench presses 207.5 kilograms.
if that doesn't happen, and it didn't happen in the squats, now he's just holding serve. He doesn't need to risk. The underdogs do. They're doing the great game planning right now. Brendan Pitre, 207.5.
His PR is 215.
So we're pacing, aren't we?
We sure are.
He really needs this. He's going to have to get around those PR numbers if he's going to make that team selection. Well, I think he's around about there. What do you think,
Yeah,
Meg?
absolutely. That moved very well for a second.
In turn, increasing upon his initial lead advantage of 20% by a further margin of 3.88% above Peyton, with a leading margin of 23.88%. Brandon also managed to maintain a firm stranglehold over Alec, where the athlete extended his original lead advantage of 14.71% by a further 3.86%, resulting in an entrenched leading margin of 18.57%. As Brandon broadly sets his eyes laser focused on a possible path to his first IPF Global Championships, the athlete finished the second round of the national trials by increasing his final bench attempt by a further 5 kilograms, which is 1.94 kilograms below his historical average third bench increment of 6.94 kilograms, resulting in a bench press of 212.5 kilograms.
$865. Nice. That was a nice third attempt.
Which is indeed 6.25 kilograms or 3.03% above his baseline bench projection of 206.25 kilograms. Peyton and Alec were unable to catch up with Brandon, with Peyton finishing the second round with a bench of 167.5 kilograms after failing to lift 170 kilograms in his third attempt.
This does match his PR. It's in a 2.5 kilo jump from his second.
That's a relatively small jump, but when you're in PR territory, especially on the bench press, things get heavy quickly. There's also the mental factor when you're right close to a PR, matching a PR, or trying to make one. Nope, not on the day.
Which consequently placed him on the back foot even further. Alec also failed to narrow the gap after benching his third attempt of 177.5 kilograms.
Bar is loaded for Alec.
This would also match for him a PR bench. He is one of the newcomers that we have to the sport in general. He's been competing since 2022. It's definitely there.
3 for 3 in the bench press, 3 white lights. Alec enjoying his good work.
Finish in the bench trials with a sustaining average lead advantage of 20.63%. Nevertheless, Brandon needed to beat last season's world champion, Jonathan Keiko's 2024 world leading total of 893 kilograms to secure his path to the upcoming IPF World Classic Championships. The fundamental question is whether Brandon could supersede the benchmark total of 893 kilograms. As I highlighted earlier, Brandon's top end baseline total projection stood at 890.4 kilograms, which fell 2.6 kilograms below the total of 893 kilograms. Even though Brandon was the favorite pick to stand victorious, his historical deadlift reliability of 30.60%, which was 13.97% below the group's average of 44.57%, which includes some of the all-time top 10 90 or 93 kilograms athletes, was surely a cause of concern, especially compared to Pitre, who had a historical deadlift reliability of 77.03% and Alec had almost a similar 76.39% respectively. Generally, a low quantitative reliability could theoretically undermine the athlete's chances if he successively misses attempts. Nevertheless, after the bench trials, Brandon had an overall margin of 59.07% of the 893 kilograms total benchmark. Whilst not far behind Brandon was Alec with a margin of 55.61% and Pitre at 51.79%, which stressed the importance of Brandon sustaining a high deadlift reliability given the close proximity of the battle at such a juncture.